All right, we're back. It's all good.
So,
I
as a
hope.
Dolphins fan, I'm speaking to all the GMs and owners out there, because I know you guys are watching the
Hell,
podcast. Don't hire Belichick. Let him fade
hire him.
into
Hire him.
obscurity.
Beat
Shut the
Don
fuck up.
Shula. Beat
No, no,
Don
no. Shut,
Shula.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Tom.
Beat
The
Don
big
Shula.
boys, the adults are talking now.
Beat
Shut
Don
up.
Shula.
Don't hire him.
Beat Don Shula. No, but for real
Oh,
though, I think a really good landing spot for him would be like the Titans, or the I really thought that the Chargers were gonna hire Bill Belichick. I really thought that they were gonna hire him. I feel like they had him, and I something that's really interesting to me is I from what I understand, the Falcons were really interested in Bill Belichick, and he pretty much said no. So yeah, I'm just happy the Cowboys didn't pick him up because I'll
yeah.
tell you what, Bill Belichick doesn't fall apart in the playoffs. He just doesn't. He like the thing with him is he either gets to the Super Bowl or he just is a two-win team. There's no in between with Bill Belichick. There isn't. He's the master of disguise. But anyway, back to the actual Super Bowl game. Who do you think is going to win? Not who do you want to win?
So,
I know.
if you had asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have said hands down the 49ers. They're just a more complete team in all facets.
Oh yeah,
But at
100%.
but at the same time, there's been some sort of fire lit up under the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's called
The
coaching. It's called postseason.
Yeah.
They
So
I told you this when the playoffs started. You were going to see what teams were really made of, and it wasn't going to look the same. And I was right. Every team looked completely different, especially the Packers.
rest in peace, Packers.
Yeah, rip.
Rest in peace.
I finally have a team to root for other than the Eagles. Thank God.
Um. So
I think
I
the
don't
Packers are going to
know.
be really good next year.
I'm I'm still leaning towards the 49ers a little bit, but at the same time, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
That's pretty much the thing, right? Like,
Like,
I'm going to. Okay, so bold take here. I think the Chiefs will win this football game. I think it's going to be like a 1 point game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout on either
that's
side. I think this is a really close matchup. Um,
no, that's a completely fair assessment. Like,
well, hold on. Let me finish. I think that the strength of the 49ers is that they're able to outgun most offenses. Like they just score points like fucking crazy. But the thing is, they haven't really played a defense like the Chiefs. I actually think the Chiefs defense is going to really step up in this game and just make it real difficult for the 49ers to rack up a bunch of points. I think it's going to be the key to the game, honestly, is if the Chiefs defense can play. That's my key to the game. It determines what happens. Because if Brock Purdy comes out and throws two interceptions in the first half that turn into touchdowns, the 49ers aren't going to come back.
mhm,
Because I know that the Chiefs are going to score almost every possession.
yeah.
Especially if Chase Young doesn't feel like playing. Like, what the fuck is that, man? How are you an NFL player going to your team's in the Super Bowl? You're a starter, and you say, like, what the fuck, bro? I will go out there and try real hard. Just suit me up, coach. I'll play for any team.
Even though I'm the MVP, they
They
call
call
me
me
Mr.
Mr. Softy. Yeah, exactly. The fuck? Oh, and Mark, I'll let you do the honors of announcing who MVP.
MVP. Oh, the NFL MVP. What?
Yeah, and tell everyone who the MVP was.
CJ Stroud.
Sorry.
No, it was Lamar Jackson rightfully earned his MVP award.
Yeah.
Offensive MVP.
It's his second.
Oh no, MVP. I'm being dumb.
It's his second MVP.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
where's
you
my
know what?
water?
And you know what? For this season, he definitely earned it.
Oh, he definitely earned it last time too. Lamar Jackson's a solid player, my man.
No, I'm not saying that he isn't. I'm
He
just
just,
saying that
is Mr. Softy in the AFC Championship game. He melts in the biggest spot. Me. They call me Mr. Softy.
it. Yeah,
That
like
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If I were the Ravens, I know that this is a huge, crazy. People are gonna be like, Tom, what the fuck are you talking about? Level take. It's time to fire Jim or John Harbaugh, whichever Harbaugh is the coach of the Ravens. I know. I think Jim Harbaugh, it went from Michigan State to the Chargers, so it's John Harbaugh who is the man. I had a real conniption there for a second. John Harbaugh, coach of the Baltimore Ravens, fire him. That was a complete collapse in the biggest possible spot. That was terrible. And I think the last time that he was in a Super Bowl was 2012, something like that with the Ravens. Dude, it's been literally 12 years since he's had real postseason success. Get rid of him. We can't have collapses in AFC games like that. Like AFC championship games like that. That's just, dude, that's bad for business. Did I just forget my water?
yeah, he did.
Yeah, fuck you. Um. So yeah, what else do you have to say about the Super Bowl here, Mark? Before I move on to some Eagles stuff, I see that you're wearing your Alabama shirt. Have you heard any of the news about Nick Saban?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
That
Jesus.
because I don't watch college football.
Well, Nick Saban, best college football coach who has ever lived, um, retired. This isn't breaking news or anything, but he's retired.
It's, I think it's like 3 weeks old.
Yeah, it's many weeks old.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not breaking news. I'm not surprising you here. It's just that since you're such a huge Alabama fan with your shirt, I figured
the only thing else I can really say about the Super Bowl is that like I'm not really into uh this generation's music.
What?
I have no interest at all in the show.
What do you mean this generation's music? It's Usher.
Yeah,
Bro, that's like the 90s.
yeah,
Shut
I
up, moron.
understand.
Usher's
Eh,
great. I like Usher.
I don't care.
You're going to hear a couple of his songs and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember this from Need for Speed Underground.
Probably not.
You never played Need for Speed Underground?
Midnight Club.
Dude,
And I didn't
I'm
even
gonna have
I
to
didn't
deal
even
with you off podcast. That is, you got something wrong with you. But yeah,
I
football
never
stuff.
Okay, yeah,
Before we start arguing about video games, that's a new podcast that we're starting.
honestly, we could just start that as a podcast. We can get Gemini in here.
Yeah, we could just do like video game news. But yeah, no. Anyway, I think I've got all my Super Bowl points out of the way. I do think that Isaiah Pacheco will outrun Christian McCaffrey, though. I have to place that one in there. And my final lock is I'm going to give the Chiefs a win by 1 point. So yeah, I'm thinking legitimately like a 32-31 game here.
Um,
And please, for the love of fucking Christ, can the 49ers lose? Oh man.
one can only hope.
I can't have the 49ers winning. I can't do it, man. Besides, we need the timeline to work out. This is a canon event, Marcus. 4 years ago, the 49ers and Chiefs played in the Super Bowl. And now 4 years later, leap year, 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl. The the 49ers got to lose to the Chiefs again. It's a canon event.
So, in
By the way,
Eagles
I heard there's
news,
a possibility it'll snow. I don't know how
nice.
accurate that is, but I did hear that. God damn, my hair looks shiny. I'm leaving it in. So what were you gonna say? What's the news?
No, like let's move on to Eagle news.
Oh, I thought you had a piece of news to say, and I was trying to not interrupt you and
Well,
being polite.
you're much more in tune with this than I am.
Yeah, I know. Traitor.
Since I try, but like all I get are like these two guys, and one of them is fucking annoying. It's
Two
fuck.
guys.
Yeah, it's like it's these two guys who run specifically a Philadelphia an Eagles podcast, and they have
Oh
like
Jesus, that's the Horseman of Disaster.
and they put out news on their own respective channels too.
Wait, what's his
And
name?
one of them is Thomas Mott, and then the other forget his name.
Is one of them Black Gritty?
No,
Okay.
no, these are both. No, these are two white fuck boys. Like
Oh, I see.
I think
White
Thomas
fuck
Mott.
boys.
Is that his name?
All right. Well, anyway, let's talk about the Eagles a little bit. Kellen Moore is the coordinator. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I'm slowly starting to convince myself a little bit. I'm still very doubtful. Um, but something I really want to hammer away at for every Eagles fan listening, we ain't doing fuck all next season. It's not gonna happen. Not with an entirely new coaching staff, two new coordinators. It's not gonna fucking happen. You're seeing a repeat of exactly what happened last season, though, albeit we have actual experienced coordinators this time ready to go. But it's just like, come the fuck on, man. That's such a joke. And what's going to happen is they're going to do shit because just slapping two new coordinators on a broken team isn't going to do a whole lot for good. But then they're going to get rid of Sirianni too because he's going to fail this season and it's not going to be necessarily his fault even. It's just that's what's going to happen when you give someone two new coordinators. It's almost like he's waiting at the guillotine in line to put his head down. Like it's going to be fucked. It's so fucked up. I'll slowly convince myself as we get closer to the season, but because normally, as you all know, I am the Eagles' number one hype man on this channel. But I mean, if I'm just being realistic, two new coordinators does not go to the Super Bowl normally. It's very, very rare that a coaching staff shakeup like that results in success. And quite frankly, if the bar next season is you go to the Super Bowl and win it, or we're firing the head coach, I mean, you may as well just fire him now and find a new head coach. Just bring Belichick in here, I guess. God damn, that would be a media shitstorm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so what do you think, Marky? We're gonna talk now about what we were talking about earlier, actually. What do you think
Okay.
the Eagles are gonna do with their first and second round picks?
Oh,
What do you think they're going to do? Not what do you want?
yeah. I think
Draft 9 wide receivers, baby.
with the first pick we're getting some defensive piece, and then with the second pick we're gonna get an offensive piece.
I hope
I
not.
th- I think what is most likely to happen is that we pick someone up on the D line, and then we pick up,
On the D line.
yeah, and then we
You think we're
pick
gonna
up,
draft a D lineman?
or I don't know, maybe an edge rusher. I think like,
I would be shocked.
and then on the offensive side, probably going to be a running back.
Oh, Mark, these are grave predictions.
I know,
That's terrible. I
I
so
know.
legitimately, I think that they are going to draft a corner in the first round. I think they are going to use their first round pick to draft Kool Aid McKinstry, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Boom, pop, shebang. I think he's going to be wearing midnight green by next season. I'm just throwing that out there. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be great, and I'm going to love every second of it. However, with the second round pick, I think they might trade the second round pick away, and maybe a player, maybe a second and a third, to pick up an extra first round pick. And I think that with that extra first round pick, they're going to draft a wide receiver. Howie can't help himself. He needs to draft receivers for no reason. It's what he does. Though, to be fair, if you're actually looking at the cap space and managing paying the offensive players, I think that A.J. Brown, as much as I love him, is not long for the Eagles team. I think maybe another 2 years. I think that A.J. Brown will be on the Eagles, but eventually he's just going to cost too much money and be getting too old to the point where we say, hey, we want Devonta Smith and a new guy. I think Devonta Smith is going to be a lifer with the Eagles. I don't think he's ever going to play for another team. But yeah, and bring back Julio Jones, most postseason touchdowns on the entire team.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's all I had to really talk about. Did you have anything else you wanted to throw in there for our last episode, Mark? Until 2024
Well, we're
season.
gonna do it. I
Oh,
thought
and the
we were gonna do,
draft.
yeah, we are gonna do a special draft episode.
Yeah, we will do a
Um,
special draft episode, but I'm also going to be doing live coverage of the draft on my Twitch channel.
Look, I've said it before. I'll say it again.
Fuck the 49ers.
Um, what you said is true. This constantly, this constant turbulence in the coaching positions is real bad news, and the Eagles are probably not going to do anything this next season. But please, please make it interesting at least. Just,
Mm.
throw, like, you can just move Devontae Smith, across the field a little bit, AJ Brown crisscross,
Well, you
and
have a real
and,
coordinator calling plays now,
like
so
just
okay. Let me make this very clear.
just
Kellen Moore is
try.
a competent offensive coordinator. He's not a dumbass.
I'm sure.
It will be
Just
fun to watch.
just make it fun to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch
I
as long as
swear
you're
to
okay with
God,
the Eagles losing a lot.
that's you know what?
Fine. Excuse you.
It almost left my mouth. I couldn't say it. It almost did.
Fine.
I
Excuse
couldn't.
me, little guy. Dude, I was leaving work today and I was like, "Wait, it's Friday. Oh my god, we have Fumble Forecast. I'm so excited. I forgot it was Friday."
This guy.
We're recording on Friday, by the way.
We're yeah.
But yeah, no, stability is so important in coaching staff. I think people just they either don't get it or they pretend not to understand. But I would say that it is one of the best predictors of postseason success. Like if you look at all of the teams that did well in the playoffs, they've had a consistent coaching staff. 49ers, Shanahan's been there for centuries. Then you have John Harbaugh got to an AFC championship game. He's been there for forever. You have Andy Reid. He's been with the Chiefs for like 10 years now. Like all these teams that are winning have coaching longevity. It is the recipe for success in the NFL. As long as you get a guy who's not completely fucking stupid. Dig him. Dan Campbell pissed me off so much, man. Just kick the 2 fucking field goals, you fuck. But yeah, I don't got nothing else to say. What about you, Mark? Awesome. Well, remember.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask you this because I'd seen this rumor going around. Is there talk about DeAndre Swift being traded?
Oh yeah. No, I think they might just get rid of him if they can't trade him.
You think so?
He's on the last year of his deal. He wants money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of this upcoming season, he's gonna want big cash. And here's what I'm. All right, hear me out, guys. Trade DeAndre Swift. Use your 3rd round pick to snag a random running back. We don't have to have a superstar running back. You don't have to. You just have to have a tandem of guys who can get the job done. And quite frankly, Kenny Gainwell combined with an actual number 1 running back, it's a good tandem. Like it'll be good enough to keep us in like the top 10 for rushing. I think we really just need fresh legs is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So remember everybody, hit that follow button, hit subscribe, find us anywhere where you get your podcast. And as always, we love each and every single one of you. Have a fantastic evening. Fuck the 49ers. Fuck the Cowboys. Go Chiefs. Have a nice night, guys. Bye.